उस तरीके का बात है, राइट, कि मुझे एक स्केलेबल ब्रांड चाहिए, मैनेजमेंट में वो भूख चाहिए, द हंगर चाहिए टू ग्रो. So let's now share the presentation here. So of course, 3 companies, Mrs. Bector, Go Fashion, Brand Concepts. So first, let's understand what Mrs. Bector does. Okay, fine, I'll take the screenshots later. Okay, so first is Mrs. Bector. अगर आपका business model देखोगे, very simple. How do they make money? By selling biscuits and bakery items. अब दोनों एंगल से देखो. Biscuits का 2 डिविजन है. एक तो है domestic, right? And they are basically, so this basically the company has been started by Mrs. Rajni Bector. And by the way, Rajni Bector ka story is very fascinating. So she's a housemaker, right? She's a housemaker who started this business. So if you see Creamica, the name comes from the word creamka. Okay, so she used to make cream products, and she used to give it to, she used to make cakes and patties and biscuits and all. And she was a very good cook. So that's how the business started from her kitchen, and her family really motivated and supported her to scale it big, right? Abhi to, of course, listed company ho chuka hai, and they are now a very big company with a 5,000 crore market cap, trying to become a pan-India company. But it all started in a kitchen in North India ke side, Delhi ke aspas. So that means kya? This company has a strong hold in the northern parts of India. मतलब क्या, अगर आप दिल्ली बोलो, आगरा, जयपुर, दैट अपर बेल्ट इन पंजाब, लुधियाना, तो वहां पे हर किराने के दुकान में आपको ये क्रीमिका का ब्रांड्स मिलेगा. सो बिस्किट्स है 2 कैटेगरी, डोमेस्टिक मोस्टली इन नॉर्दर्न, एंड नाउ दे आर ट्राइंग टू एक्सपैंड टू साउदर्न मार्केट्स एंड द वेस्टर्न मार्केट्स. वो तो हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे कि मतलब अगर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नहीं करता तो मैं इनके बारे में डिस्कस नहीं करता. सेकंड इज दे हैव एन एक्सपोर्ट डिविजन वेयर they want to replicate the same distribution channel in the Middle East nations, right? So ये हो गया. दूसरे, आप अगर उनका फोटोज में देखोगे, आप देखोगे इनका जो इंग्लिश ओवन. सो इंग्लिश ओवन का 2 कैटेगरी है. कैन यू सी दिस नीचे वाला कैटेगरी? दिस इज द इंस्टीट्यूशनल बेकरी एंड दिस इज द रिटेल बेकरी. इंस्टीट्यूशनल बेकरी मतलब है, अगर आप देखोगे, फिर से एक अच्छा स्टोरी है. 1996-1997 में मैकडॉनल्ड्स जब इंडिया में आया था, सो मैकडॉनल्ड्स को जो बन था पैटीज का, बर्गर का, सो किसने ये बन सप्लाई किया था? The answer is again Mrs. Bector, right? तो अगर आप देखोगे कोई भी QSR कंपनी ले लो, मैकडॉनल्ड्स ले लो, सबवे ले लो, राइट, देन KFC ले लो, यहाँ का जो बर्गर का जो बंस बनता है, वो बंस देता है आपका इंग्लिश ओवन से जाता है, ठीक है? So that's the B2B model. मतलब क्या? This company is a great proxy to the QSR growth in India as well, correct? So ये हो गया. दूसरा, of course, they also sell breads and other bakery items as well, right? अदर बेकरी आइटम्स मींस मिल्क प्रोडक्ट्स हो गया, इधर उधर क्रोसेंट वगैरह हो गया, राइट? तो ये सब चीजें वो रिटेल को भी बेचता है. सो दिस इज द बिजनेस मॉडल ऑफ मिसेस बेक्टर फूड. Now, look at their numbers, right? Sales are up 37% YOY. This is Q4 numbers. PAT up 171% YOY, right? So, and both the biscuit and the bakery segment, as I told you, right? So, यहाँ पे क्या है? Biscuit and bakery में, if they make 3 rupees in total revenue, biscuit contributes 2 rupees and bakery contributes 1 rupee. So, 66 and 33%. So, both the segments grew by higher double digits in Q4 FY23. अब मैं यहाँ पे volume growth का ही बात कर रहा हूँ as compared to the same period last year, right? And of course, can you see here, if you look at the total revenue, can you see the growth here, YOY? And again, if you look at the YOY growth here from FY22 to FY23, look at the growth in both the biscuit and the bakery segment. But again, having said that, as I told you, out of 346 rupees, 203 rupees comes from the biscuit segment and 128 comes from the bakery segment. So that means biscuit contributes more than the bakery segment here. So now let's understand the whole business model and understand it through the lens of the management and well as the outlook. First is what they are trying to do is this. They are now trying to become a pan-India company. So now they are setting up distribution base across the country. And second is like, of course, if you want to set up your distribution base, your demand is going to go up, right? And to fulfill demand, they're setting up more and more plants, whether it's brownfield, greenfield plants. Okay, so that's what they say. Sales growth is driven by distribution expansion and capacity expansion. That is exactly what we need, right? Whether you have seen Britannia doing this for the last 30 years and being the Britannia today, whether you have seen Asian Paints doing it, it's all supply chain ka khel, right? So say for example, you go outside, right? आपको कोई एक किराना का दुकान मिलता है, you would probably buy that biscuit जो आपके सामने दिख रहा है, correct? Mostly, right? Because आज ब्रिटानिया का कोई भी products ले लो और मिसेस बेक्टर का कोई भी बिस्किट ले लो, so I've tried both the cream cracker biscuits and everything together. It's the same taste, right? So it is a game of distribution. Now ब्रिटानिया फैला हुआ business है, it's spread across the country, so ब्रिटानिया के बारे में discuss करके फायदा है नहीं. But this is that company which can be touted as the next Britannia. But having said that, we have to track the company and make investment decisions rather than make an outright opinion कि यही बनेगा Britannia, right? Because I am not running the business, I can't set up such a mindset. So enhance presence in new geographies and existing territories. That's all I want, right? From a distribution business. Export businesses to remain strong. Now, biscuit to bakery, 2:1 in revenues. Understood. Now, let's talk about the CAPEX, what they're trying to do. So Rajpura is a place where they keep on adding new biscuit lines. So they're adding 2 new biscuit lines, which will be completed by this upcoming quarter. Okay? And they're also making a bakery plant in NCR, which will be completed in Q4 FY24, right? So दो biscuit line Rajpura में, एक bakery line NCR में. Bakery मतलब English oven, right? Both bakery for the retail as well as for the QSR segment का मतलब supply. Okay, now इसके साथ अब सोचो, अब थोड़ा west में आओ. Khopoli is a place in Maharashtra. Brownfield expansion in Khopoli and Dhar are well on track and would complete by FY24-25. That means क्या? 2 बिस्किट का लाइन एक जगह हो रहा है, एक बेकरी प्लांट नॉर्थ में बिठ रहा है, और खोपोली और धौर में 2 और प्लांट बिठ रहा है. दैट मींस व्हाट? यहां से ही समझ में आता है कि कंपनी कितना गंग हो है ऑन द फ्यूचर डिमांड. एंड द फ्यूचर डिमांड के लिए वो लोग तभी रेडी है अगर, बिकॉज इन्होंने डिसाइड कर लिया है कि हमको दिल्ली के बाहर जाना है. दिल्ली मतलब सॉरी, आपको पूरा नॉर्थ के बाहर जाना है. आई विल स्टिल टेल यू. अच्छा, उसके बाद एक एक करके देखते हैं. So the journey to double retail touch points by March 2024 is on. मतलब क्या? If they were in, I think they had a touch points of approximately, I think 1.5 lakh distributors था उनका, right? Now what they're saying is they would increase touch points to 3.2 lakhs. 1 second, yeah. So 1.5 से उनका touch points double होने वाला है in 2 years, and this was something they said in FY22 का मार्च में. So by the way, now you would ask me कि like अगर FY22 में 1.5 lakhs था तो FY23 के मार्च में कितना है? Because we just came out of that quarter. Now that number currently is around 2 lakhs. 2.17, right? So that means what? 1.5 से भी 2.17 हुआ है, and with more and more distribution, ये बढ़ के अगले साल तक हो जाएगा 3.2 lakhs by March 2024, right? So just think about this. यहाँ पे sales का growth is directly proportional to the increase in distribution points, right? So 1.5 से अगर आप 3.2 कर रहे हो, your distribution is doubling in 2 years. That means at a CAGR level, your distribution is at a 40-50% level, right? So this is why you see why the company is able to grow sales at 37% YOY. This makes sense, right? Because if your distribution isn't at par at the rate at which, say for example, your revenue is growing, आगे जाके तो revenue growth घट जाएगा ना, right? So always you have to look forward when you're trying to invest in the stock market, not always look back. So now what are they trying to say here? The journey to double retail touch point. We have covered this point. Now, the biscuit segment grew 42% YOY, bakery segment grew 34% YOY. Now, having said that, biscuit segment is 60-65% of the total revenue. So them growing at a faster pace actually helps in the top line as well, right? Margin expansion happened in Q4 and FY23. मतलब margin expansion का मतलब है business में थोड़ा बहुत operating leverage भी है. Okay, now they aim to improve the gross margin even ahead. How do they do that? Because the more you scale up and the more you distribute, the more you have control over your fixed costs. मतलब क्या, यहाँ पे fixed cost दो type का है. Direct fixed cost. Say for example wheat, barley, right, cream. These are the raw materials, right? So the more you scale up, the more you have bargaining power over the direct raw materials. As a result of which, so sales minus the cost of direct raw materials like barley, wheat, cream and all that, right, which are needed to make biscuits and bakery items, is equal to your gross profit, right? So going forward, the company says that the gross margins are going to improve. Gross margins are gross profit divided by sales. Setting up. Okay. Yeah, so setting up their own distribution channel in the Middle East as well, which is also a great thing, right? Because if you give it to some third-party players, like aap jaake bech do, that will be a difficult thing, right, to grow. So Middle East, maybe the company can grow at a fast pace because they are setting up their own distribution there, right? Now, here is the thing. Looking for a 30 now. No, okay. Before I talk about Mumbai and Bangalore, let me tell you कि extra क्या हो रहा है business में. So अभी तक तो जैसे मैंने बोला कि नॉर्दर्न इंडिया में इनका प्रेजेंस है, ठीक है. नॉर्दर्न इंडिया में इफ यू गो टू, आई मीन लाइक द पीपल फ्रॉम दिल्ली एंड लुधियाना एंड पंजाब विल एक्चुअली टेल मी दिस कि लाइक they can see Cremica biscuits along with Britannia biscuits in a normal kirana store as well as in a DMart. Got it? So by the way, DMart में if you're selling biscuit, you say कि like we are selling biscuits in modern retail. और अगर आप कोई traditional retail में दे रहे हो तो आप बोल रहे हो कि traditional retail में आप दे रहे हो, ठीक है? So modern retail and traditional retail are two different kinds of retail, right? So e-commerce is also part of modern retail, right? Rather than traditional retail. So now what the company is trying to do is they are doing two things. A, they are trying to deepen penetration in the northern region, right? And ये तो हो गया by increasing touch points, which we talked about. Second is के like they are now expanding to the other parts of the country. So they recently entered into three particular cities: Bangalore, Pune, and Mumbai. And I can tell you this: अगर आप इन तीनों जगह में घुसे हो, let me tell you one thing: इनका just start हुआ है. I don't think they even started this process 6 months back. So in the last 6 months, they have been expanding distribution in these three areas. Now, इससे आपको क्या पता चलता है? इससे आपको ये and look at this. That's why they're looking for a 30% growth from Mumbai and Bangalore markets, because इनका base तो है ही नहीं वहाँ पे, right? So छोटे base में they can grow at 30% plus. Who knows? It can be even 50%, right? And high expectations from the Bombay market in the bakery segment as well, right? So biscuit market है, bakery. That's why they opened a plant in Khopoli now. So this brownfield expansion in Khopoli is a bakery plant that they are putting up, right? So today आज आप देखोगे ना, जितना भी QSR का expansion हो रहा है in Maharashtra, and not only in Bombay and Pune, right, which are the bigger cities. If you look at Nasik and all that as well, like Solapur, Nasik, वहां भी आज जितना भी expansion हो रहा है, सबका बन का भी supply ये कंपनी बेक्टर से ही जाता है. और ऑफ कोर्स बिस्किट का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन तो अब गांव-गांव में फैला. नाउ इससे आपको समझ में आना चाहिए द स्कोप ऑफ द बिजनेस, राइट? मेनी पीपल लुक एट द स्टॉक एंड से लाइक ओ इट्स अ 3x फॉर मी, 2x फॉर मी. ये सबसे फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. यू हैव टू सी द स्कोप ऑफ द बिजनेस. अब देखिए, ये बिजनेस तमिलनाडु, केरला, आंध्रा, मतलब कर्नाटका में तो सिर्फ बैंगलोर में कुछ आउटलेट्स में है, इवन महाराष्ट्र, गुजरात, फिर उसके बाद कलकत्ता, आसाम, द नॉर्थ ईस्ट स्टेट्स, इनमें है ही नहीं. Got it? So how do you say that you have made 2 times the money and you can think of selling? Of course, stock तो ऊपर नीचे करता ही रहेगा, कभी बहुत जल्दी भागेगा, कभी there will be a tenure when the stock does nothing. Okay, by the way, no stock recommendation here, right? I don't care actually if you buy stocks or not of this company. All I'm trying to say is कि like हमेशा आगे का देखो, स्कोप का देखो. If the scope is great for the business, ना, don't sell your winners early. ये तो हमने हर जगह पढ़े हैं, right? Selling your winners early is a bigger crime than making a mistake in the stock market by, let's say, being greedy. So sometimes when we look at our profits, we think like, oh, we have made 50% gains, 100% gains. Let's get out of the stock. But that's not how you should be doing. Because you have to understand the scope. I'm teaching you the scope. Because think about this. If you look at the, I don't know how much exactly is the touch points of Britannia, right? I am pretty sure Britannia has touch points north of 10 lakhs, right? So आज अगर आप देखोगे सिर्फ नॉर्थ इंडिया में 2 lakh touch points है, अगर ये वेस्ट में गया, साउथ में गया और ईस्ट में गया, they can have 2 lakhs of touch points each. See, investing is a game where you have to have some degree of vision, right? So they can quadruple the touch points from FY23, which is 2 lakhs, to let's say 8 lakhs in let's say 5 to 7 years time, right? And so if you can quadruple your touch points, your sales can go up by 10x. And अगर operating leverage हुआ, profit उससे भी ज़्यादा बढ़ सकता है. So the point is this: we have to understand the scope of the business. And if you don't understand the business model, you will never understand the scope, and you will always look at stock charts and try to book some early profits here and there. So you will never be able to make big money, is what am I trying to say here. So अगर आप देखोगे यहाँ पे, again, let's just finish the points. English Oven and QSR, correct? Because you understand, right? As we touched upon the points, कि McDonald's, Subway, KFC, ये सब clients हैं इनका, right? तो QSR में भी सोचिए आज इंडिया में कितने स्कोप है. I think 90-95% of the QSRs in this country are, I think, concentrated in only the top 10-20 cities. तो सोचिए जब QSR का अभी जो एक्सपेंशन हो रहा है, जैसे KFC, Devyani International, right? Devyani International says they will double the stores in 4 years. Sapphire says they will double. Sapphire and Devyani are licensee brands of KFC and Pizza Hut in India, by the way, right? They're all talking about doubling stores in 3 to 4 years. Second is, if you look at, say, for example, Domino's, right? With the number of stores they have and the outlook they have given, they will double stores in 5 to 6 years, right? So every QSR is looking to double stores in 5 to 6 years. And basically QSR का बन का supplier कौन है? मिसेस बेक्टर. तो QSR खेलने की जगह मैं मिसेस बेक्टर खेलूंगा ना, बिकॉज QSR में मुझे पता नहीं कि क्या क्या इश्यूज चल रहा है. एक तो इन्फ्लेशन का प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है, दूसरा है उनको सिर्फ वैल्यू प्रोडक्ट्स निकालना है, 30 रुपए का सामान, 50 रुपए का सामान, एंड ऑल दैट, राइट? बट यहाँ पे अगर मुझे सप्लाई, इट्स बेसिकली अ प्रॉक्सी टू QSR एज वेल, right? That's another way of looking at it. Okay, some other pointers on this. Premium category bread growing faster than mass category. Again, having said that, right, after COVID, it's like a K-shaped recovery economy mein ho raha hai, right? Okay, people are moving more and more towards premiumization. We have already covered a lot of premium stocks in the premiumization theme in this series of workshop, right? So premium categories are doing well. If the premium categories do well, that means margins or bhi improve hoga bakery ka. That's another point. Aim to become a pan-India player. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Today they're only in certain states in the northern side of India. लोगों को पता भी नहीं है business क्या है. लेकिन अगर आपको उतना भी doubt होता है ना, so you go to North India and see the distribution. Okay, then आपको पता चलेगा वो इंडिया में 31 states में हो सकता है, and there is immense scope. But again, having said that, right, हमें कंपनी को quarter on quarter ही track करना है and not get lost in the vision as well, right? But having said that, you might be an active investor, you might be putting in money, taking money out and all that, but there will be some lull quarters. Yes, because it's a business, right? It can't be like, it can't hit a six every ball. But having said that, agar vision or direction sahi hai, then it's okay with me to stay in the business. So can you see even North maybe, because they have increased distribution point, they have gained market share from 38% to 46%. Some analyst also asked, what is your market share in India? The company said 1%. Now, can you imagine going forward, their market share agar 1% se 2% se 3% bhi hota hai after venturing into South and West and East, right? I mean, the stock can give multi bagger returns here, and it's only at a 4,500 crore market cap. Like, what is happening, right? That's the thing, right? Or am I like being like too, like, am I becoming too optimistic with the business? So that's another way of looking at it. So built over 17,000 touch points in Pune, Mumbai, Bangalore over the last 10 months. Now, here is the thing. We'll be adding 2 more cities in FY24, right? Now, we don't know. That can be Hyderabad, that can be Tamil Nadu, Chennai, right? That can be Kozhikode. I don't know, right? But that's the whole point, right? We have to invest in businesses which are in the game of distribution, right? So Varun Beverages ne kiya from 2018. If you go back and read the Varun Beverages ka business ka annual report ka MD ne from 2018 to 2021, you'll understand what am I trying to say. And that is exactly what Bector is trying to replicate. So Khopoli plant fully automated with less manpower can make 4,000. मतलब क्या? यहाँ पे plants भी fully automated है. So यहाँ पे ये लोग tech. So this basically started as a family-owned business, right? But going forward, अगर आप देखोगे एकदम professionally managed business है, just like Britannia. Okay, so that's one other thing. The machines are improving, right? It's automated plants and everything. So of course, the existing machines are improving and they're scaling distribution. So more volume as well as value growth. Penetrating much faster in the southern markets because that's probably their next vision. Most part of growth has come from increase in volume and overall growth much higher than industry. Correct, right? How do you know they're growing faster than industry? Look at the Britannia ka sales growth and look at Bector ka sales growth. Britannia and Bector sell similar products. So Britannia grows at, I think Britannia grew at 14% YOY. I won't do a workshop on Britannia because they are too big a player and they can't grow that much. So I won't waste my time. So 14% YOY for Britannia. Bector grew 37% YOY. So if somebody can grow almost 2.5 times to 3 times the rate at which Britannia is growing, you know that you're capturing market share. If Bector would have been growing lesser than Britannia ka growth, which is the market leader, Britannia today is the market leader, then I would have said like Bector is losing market share. So you gain more and more market share, right? From 3.8 to 4.6% when you know that you're growing at 2.5 times the rate at which the market leader is growing. Right. So now here is the thing, right? CAPEX to be, okay, this is funded, not furled, I guess, by 70% debt and 30% intern. Absolutely fine. Because if you're a small business trying to scale up and it's a distribution business with a brand, because both Cremica, ask any person in Northern India, they would know what great a brand Cremica is. They would know what English Oven is, right? So you have any friends from Delhi or Punjab, they will tell you this, right? But other parts of the India, se logo ko pata hi nahi hai ki ye kya hai. But I do understand why, right? Jaise I'm from Calcutta, nobody knows what Mrs. Bector is. Okay, so set up 4 bakeries using the captive bakery products. Now, what they're also trying to do is, since their bakery products, they also want to move from B2B. देखो, B2B bakery. अगर आप बाहर जाओगे तो you see bakeries, right? छोटे-छोटे दुकान होते हैं, right? जहाँ पे ये सब cakes वगैरह बेचते हैं. Look at Starbucks. Starbucks बोलते हैं कॉफी का दुकान, but actually it's a bakery selling you sweets, sweet drinks, cakes, croissant, and all those things, right? So that means what? That means going forward, they are also trying to build up their own bakeries. Like CCD is a bakery, right? Bakery, Starbucks is a bakery. And going forward, India mein bakery ka culture bhi bahut hai, cafes ka culture bhi hai, right? That means you see, right? Even for Burger King India, you saw that Burger King cafes launch kiya, right? For McDonald's, the world famous McCafe is already there, right? With every McDonald's comes a McCafe. So That is why that this is also another aspect avenue that they are testing today. They are testing the waters, and they have set up 4 bakeries using the captive bakery products of the company. So अपना ही product लेके bakery में बेच रहा है, right? So this is what basically like you can say like backward integration भी है bakery में इनका. So English Oven to be the one-stop shop solution for all bakery needs, whether it's B2B में KFC को देना है, Burger King को देना है, या B2C में, right? किसी को पाव लेना है, से कॉफी पीना है, से लेके क्रॉसअप खाना है, सब कुछ, everything comes under one roof. So that in itself is a great prospect in itself, because you can also scale up that bakery. Right now they have 4 stores, then they will have 40, then they can have 400. So immense prospects. So maintain EBITDA. So they have said they'll maintain EBITDA as well as, because most of the things, I'll tell you this, if you are expanding your business, whether it's QSR or whether it's an FMCG business, you cannot expand the business at the cost of diluting your gross profit margin. That is the risk here, right? Of course, gross profit margin घटा तो आपका EBITDA margin भी घटेगा. So I don't want my company to increase scale at the risk of margin dilution. Then it's a big problem. Starbucks का यही problem हुआ था between 2006 and 2008. उसके बाद हावर्ड शुल्ट्ज, आई थिंक उनका उस टाइम का जो मतलब जो सीईओ था, he came and closed 600 Starbucks stores. You can, I think I don't recall the exact numbers, but you can Google and figure that out. Okay, like Starbucks का क्यों 600-500 दुकान बंद हुआ था in 2008-9, and I think the stock also went down 80-90%. So it shows growth prospect तो बहुत है Bector के पास. The only risk I would say Bector का क्या ही है, देखो brand उनके पास है, distribution उनके पास है, they have already proven themselves in North India. Why can't they prove themselves in the remaining parts of country? Of course they will, right? My parents went to they went to Himachal Pradesh. वहाँ पे they ate Bector का products, and they were like, yeah, it's as good as Britannia. If they remove the wrappers, you won't even know, right? I mean, of course, you can say things like Britannia controls the price and Bector looks at Britannia and prices the products, but I don't care about that, right? मेरा पॉइंट वही है कि लाइक आज बिस्किट आपको 10 रुपए में क्रीम केकर मिलेगा, कोई एबीसी कंपनी का, गेम है डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का, राइट? ब्रिटानिया हैज मेड मनी एंड इंडिया इज सच अ बिग कंट्री ऑफ 150 करोड़ पॉपुलेशन, राइट? और अगर आप इंडिया का पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ भी देखोगे, वो भी 2-4% से ऊपर जा रहा है, तो ऑफ कोर्स देयर कैन बी अनदर ब्रिटानिया. आई थिंक देयर कैन बी 10 ब्रिटानियंस, राइट? ऐसा नहीं कि ब्रिटानिया ने पैसे बनाए तो और कोई नहीं बनाएगा. That's not a good logic. So that means what? यही है कि opportunity in south and west market more than north. Of course, because north में already 2 लाख है, 2 लाख टच पॉइंट्स है, जिसको लेट्स से 3 लाख भी करेगा. साउथ में there is only 17,000 touch points. So 17,000 touch points will grow at a faster pace, right? They can be 34,000 touch points by July next year, right? But 2 लाख 4 लाख अगले साल में नहीं होगा ना, 3 लाख होगा. So the rate of growth is dependent on what? New geographies, and as well as the fact that like you have a small base. Present in 2,300 plus modern trade and expect to double into 2024. ये भी एक रीजन है कि बेक्टर का ग्रोथ कितना है. 2,300 मॉडर्न ट्रेड मतलब क्या? ई कॉमर्स हो गया जहां पे बिस्किट बेच रहे हैं, एंड सेकंड इज वो डीमार्ट वगैरह में बिस्किट बेच रहे हैं, ठीक है? मॉडर्न ट्रेड में लोग जा रहे हैं रादर फ्रॉम द किराना स्टोर्स. सो 2,300 प्लस से 4,600 में आएगा. So all these things, why am I telling you this? Now you can just pause the video or you can go back. Just think of the prospect lying ahead. Very rarely do you find a simple business model growing at 40%, moving into newer geographies, right? I mean, I have seen people come up to me and say कि like काश मैं 90s में ब्रिटानिया में पैसे डालता, लेकिन आज वो बेक्टर में नहीं देखेगा. Are you getting my point here? So यही होता है कि लाइक हम नया चीज को ना एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते, और जब कुछ सिंपल चीज होता है ना, जनरली आई हैव आल्सो सीन लाइक वरुण बेवरेजेस. अनफॉर्चुनेटली दैट कंपनी मेरे नाक के नीचे से चला गया, एंड आई वाज वेरी सैड बिकॉज़ आई न्यू अबाउट वरुण बेवरेजेस बैक इन 2018-19 एज वेल. रवि जयपुरिया, उनका पूरा कहानी, बट यू नो व्हाट, मे बी बिकॉज़ द बिजनेस वाज सो सिंपल that I never invested properly, right? ना allocation ठीक से किया, ना properly पैसा डाला. So point वही है, it's not a stock recommendation, but sometimes we do too complex things. Excel sheet में डाल के modeling करो, FCFF, DCF and all that nonsense. All I'm trying to say is कि like business model को समझो, close your eyes and think कि इसका outlook क्या हो सकता है. And of course आउटलुक जैसा होगा आगे तो Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 मैं वर्कशॉप बना के आपको दूंगा, ठीक है, कि कंपनी का डायरेक्शन क्या कैसा जा रहा है, राइट? तो मैनेजमेंट का सुनना है, नथिंग ओनली ऑन होप. और यहाँ पे होप नहीं है, यहाँ पे आई एम गिविंग यू अ विजन, एंड उसके साथ साथ वी हैव टू ट्रैक द बिजनेस टू सी वेदर दे आर मूविंग इन द राइट डायरेक्शन और नॉट. ओके, सो लेट्स नाउ अंडरस्टैंड द बिजनेस. थोड़ा सा फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स देख लेते हैं. आई जस्ट टेक अ स्क्रीनशॉट बिकॉज इट विल हेल्प मी टू टॉक अबाउट इट. ओके, first thing about this company, फर्स्ट थिंग अबाउट बेक्टर का, अगर आप देखोगे इनकम स्टेटमेंट देख लो, 2500 रुपीज से 3500 में हुआ है, सो 37% का सेल्स ग्रोथ है आपका। फिर उसके बाद इफ यू सी, अगर आपका पैड ग्रोथ देखोगे तो इमेंस ऑपरेटिंग लेवरेज है, फ्रॉम 100 रुपीज टू 276 रुपीज, राइट, दैट्स इमेंस, 170% का ग्रोथ। Again, if you see here, like employee benefit expenses, it's gone up on a YOY basis. The company is not exploiting its employees, or it's on field जो ये फील्ड में डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स है उनको नहीं कर रहे हैं. Other income is a very small amount to total sales, so no point looking at it. Now, जल्दी जल्दी देख लेते हैं CFO, very very important. Business ने कैश कितना बनाया? Can you see this? Okay, now let's come to the cash flow statement. Look at this. The cash flow statement in FY23 में CFO doubled over FY22, right? You can pause the video and you can see. This clearly shows that the business is making a lot of cash as well as they are expanding, right? This is all that I need, right? A company that is expanding margins, a company that is generating more cash, right? इससे better क्या हो सकता है? And then if you see this, if you see one of the investments that they have done, थोड़ा सा ज्यादा investments अगर आप देखोगे कि यहाँ पे inventory थोड़ा high हुआ है. You see the increase in inventory, right? This is the item, right? Of course. अब अगर आप साउथ में जा रहे हो और आप नया नया डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चैनल्स में, तो आपको तो वो बिस्किट बना के फिट करना है, राइट? तो थोड़ा बहुत इन्वेंटरी बड़ा है, बट देन हैविंग सेड दैट देयर इज नथिंग टू वरी हियर, राइट? इफ यू लुक एट द पेएबल्स, रिसीवेबल्स, ऑल इन लाइन, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. नाउ दूसरी पॉइंट, सिंस आई टोल्ड यू दैट देयर इन द मोड ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, साउथ में घुस रहा है, मॉडर्न ट्रेड को डबल करेगा, नॉर्थ में टच पॉइंट्स को अभी भी फ्रॉम 2.17 टू 3.2 lakhs में जाएगा. ये कैसे करेगा? इफ यू कंटिन्यू इन्वेस्टिंग, राइट? एंड दे आर इन्वेस्टिंग इन दैट, you know, the bakery plant in north, the bakery plant at Khopoli, and also couple of biscuit lines. तो ये process चालू है. Can you see 1094 rupees? मैं यहाँ पे ना सब कुछ rupees में बात करता हूँ because I think it's easier for you to understand than talking millions and, you know, crore and lakhs and all. So last year they spent 600 rupees. This time out of 1640 rupees of cash flow from operations, इन्होंने 1000 rupees डाल दिया plant property equipment में. Got it? और ये डाल दिया, और बाद में देखिए इतना सही कंपनी है, they also paid a bit of dividends, 146 rupees का. So nothing to worry about in this company. They continue to invest handsomely in PPE. Okay. उसके बाद क्या है? बुक वैल्यू देखना है. उसके लिए हम इनकम बैलेंस शीट में आएंगे. अगर आप बुक वैल्यू देखोगे तो टोटल इक्विटी देखो, दे आल्सो वेंट अप बाय 17% ऑन अ YOY बेसिस. रिटर्न ऑन इक्विटी वेरी वेरी क्रिटिकल. रिटर्न ऑन इक्विटी मतलब शेयर होल्डर इक्विटी में हाउ मच मनी इज द कंपनी मेकिंग, right? You guys must know this by now. So return on equity calculate करने के लिए very simple. Look at net income. What is net income for the company in FY23? 900 rupees, right? Net income divided by shareholder equity, जो हमने कुछ देर पहले देखा, 5400. So the return on equity is 16.5%. If you do the same calculation for FY22, the number comes out to be 12%. So it clearly shows one thing, that the return on equity is going up with increase in scale. And going forward, I tell you, once they increase touch points to 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs and all, the ROE number will go north of 20%. And that's the thing, right? With scale, you get more operating leverage. With scale, you have more bargaining power over suppliers. With scale, you get more free cash flows. And उससे क्या होता है? आपका return on equity बढ़ता है. Right? CFO to net income, very simple, because अगर आपका accounting profit is 100 and your CFO, मतलब cash flows is 30, that means there is a problem, right? Somewhere you are not making enough money. So CFO to net income is 1.7. So अगर 100 rupees का net income है, the cash flows are 1.7. You can go and check that as well. So no ALM mismatch, and the balance sheet is fairly strong. ALM mismatch का मतलब तब होता अगर current asset current liability से कम होता. But as long as the current ratio is more than 1, the balance sheet is pretty strong. So that's probably it for Mrs. Bector. Okay, so we'll move on to the next company now. Okay, quickly कर लेते हैं. Now we move on to Go Fashion. What does Go Fashion do? Very simple. Ladies bottom wear बनाते हैं. They make ladies bottom wear. That's all they do. Okay, so they're a one-stop destination for ladies bottom wear daily essentials, right? So now you can see here. Can you see this lady का photo? इनका जो भी bottom wear का needs है वो Go Fashion, Go Colors बनाते हैं. Go Fashion is the name of the company. Go Colors is the name of the brand. सब देखोगे ऐसे जब malls में जाओगे, right? In cities, you will see malls या malls के बाहर there are छोटे छोटे stores, 300 square feet, 200 square feet, 500 square feet का Go Colors का store, where they like ऐसे fold करके सारे ऐसे products को रखते हैं अपना. Okay. So bottom wear बहुत टाइप का bottom wear होता है, right? You can go and check out. You can ask your mom or you can ask your girlfriend or your female friends about it. They will tell you कि bottom wear कितने टाइप के होते हैं, like लहंगा, चूड़ी